Good evening to our Village at Ballston Spa residents and friends. A few weeks ago, I announced unexpectedly that I would be taking a leave of absence as mayor, stepping back from some of the daily rigors of the job to tend to my health issues, both physical and mental health issues that followed. Basically, for 4 years, I went nonstop into this job without taking a pause, and before I caused myself lasting harm, I needed to focus on me for a bit. Well, as you might expect, it's been an interesting few weeks. Thanks to my family, friends, and all of you with your kind words and well wishes, I feel a lot better. My blood pressure is much better. My sleep schedule and sleep consistency are much improved. I would have said I was perfectly ready to return to work without hesitation if this was the only aspect of my concerns. Yet I focused on a lot of thought and reflection of recent events while I was in Florida, and even since I've been back here in the village. During that thought and reflection, the village was served with a second lawsuit, this time from Keith Lewis and Liz Cormos, a rebuke of an ethics board decision that they didn't agree with concerning JH Properties and the work Mr. Heck's company did to transform Wiswall Park into the beautiful space it became last spring. Their issue was that I didn't disclose my brother was an employee with no ownership interest and no benefit from the contract. In fact, Mr. Heck provided an enormous amount of labor and materials for free. He also worked with other companies to secure materials at low or no cost to the village. He didn't need to take on this contract. Mr. Heck wanted to do so because he loves what our Village of Friends is about. So with this lawsuit and Mr. Lewis pursuing on behalf of his ailing father a lawsuit about water rates for Mohican Hill Apartments, which incidentally the Ethics Board also ruled on in my favor recently, I took stock of what is happening here. For a few years, people like Mr. Lewis and Ms. Cormos have essentially stated my parents were thieves and stealing from the village. Looking at my 87 and 88-year-old parents at dinners in Florida, it hurt me to have to see how things like this affect them. Whatever anyone may think of them, you cannot say my parents have not tried to positively impact this community in their nearly 50 years of living in this area. And yet, because a small group of people hate me so much, they feel attacking my parents is fair game. After I announced tonight's speech, both Ms. Cormos and Mr. Lewis posted publicly, she on her former trustee page, he in the comments, claiming to stand for lawful, transparent governance. Reading between the lines, their message is clear. For them, protecting the village means harming the reputations of me and my family. I don't care about my reputation at this point after proving myself over the last 4 years. What I care about is my family and about this village. And these two folks and others that support them are not helping the village's reputation. Media organizations have called me saying they've received press releases related to the lawsuits, ethics board reconstitution, and other items over the last few weeks. They're pushing constant dirt into the public, and in doing so, they're causing Mr. Heck even to get harassed by local media and hurting our village's relationship with him and his company. That reputational damage to our village is what actually hurts me to see happen here. And so knowing that they will stop at nothing to try to harm me and, as such, harm the image and relationships of the village, I stand at a crossroads after reflecting on everything. A decision became necessary, but at moments like these, the past must inform it. So let me take you through what we've accomplished together. When I took this job, I saw a village coming off of a resignation by former Mayor Larry Woolbright that shocked many people and made them aware that there needed to be change. I never saw myself as mayor material, but I also was tired of the narrative that I didn't care about my community and was self-centered and more or less a hated loser. The same people who have been pressing some of the lawsuits and press releases I discussed earlier were pressing those same narratives and also were responsible for Mayor Woolbright's resignation. So I ran without any expectations, knowing that if I won, I would do the best job I could because I refused to do any job halfway. With Trustee Bernadette's help, we began a process of gaining common sense and consensus in the community despite being in the minority. In the process, we built relationships with our staff and department heads, our boards and committees, our local state representatives, and even our congressional representation. We also worked hard with the county and surrounding municipalities, regardless of political party, to help ensure funding and other efforts to make our village a better place. In 2023, you re-elected us, and you also elected Trustee Mary Price Bush, who continued that work ethic with us. What has that meant in tangible ways? Thanks to our positive government relationships, our work with staff and departments, and our promotion of the work of entities like our library board and our fire department, we have obtained as a village over $2.3 million in grants and aid across several categories. Among them, street safety, firefighter equipment, police technology, and critical infrastructure. This is a team effort that has continued already with trustees Dunkelbarger and Dubuque diving in headfirst over these past 2 months. We've also taken on several tasks that were pushed off for way too long by prior boards, fixing sidewalk tree issues on Milton Avenue, creating a plan to renovate our 3 crucial water towers, and fighting to ensure the village would be the water provider for the over 500 units at Milltown Center, meaning a potential $210,000 per year of new revenue. We also revamped our health benefits by adopting the Teamsters Healthcare Plan, saving about $120,000 per year while providing better benefits to our employees. We've ensured the village library will function safely with asbestos removal and roof work beginning soon, instituted body cameras for our police officers, and maximized our fire contracts to ensure our firefighters have the safest gear and apparatus possible. And we took on improving our parks with the pickleball and basketball courts in Kelly Park and the complete overhaul of Wiswall Park. Yet it isn't just the tangible items I focus on when I look back at the last 4 years. 2 things have stood out for me. First, the number of people who have stopped me to tell me how beautiful their village is lately. Sometimes when you're deeply entrenched in the process of making things work, you lose perspective. So those reminders mean a lot and confirm that we're on the right track. Second, the work we've done to be more transparent and cooperative with the school district is something that is special and necessary in a community like ours. In this political climate, young people are too often taught to distrust government. Over the last 4 years, I've worked tirelessly to build a bridge to our area schools and students, as I wanted them to know we care and will spotlight their successes and be there when they need us. We've worked to highlight efforts like the Scotty's Pantry to help with their nourishment and needs, and to promote street safety around their schools. What we've done has clearly worked. Look no further than our last 9/11 ceremony, where our high school's JV and varsity football teams followed the lead of Lucas Watson over the years and came out to support our community's remembrance ceremony, drawing thousands of people's attention across the region. When the student section at the Burnt Hills Ballston Spa basketball game chanted support for me after my initial health announcement, it told me that we have succeeded in what we set out to do, and that's something money can't buy. We've gone far together in 4 years, and I can say without hesitation that I can resign tonight with no regrets and with extreme pride in what we've done. But I also know we have an enormous amount still to do. We have a DPW building we're looking to replace at a reasonable cost, a court that we're looking to relocate, more work in our water system to come, plenty of sidewalk improvements and installations to help manage with new funding, and so much more. Ethics complaints, lawsuits, and press releases that sully the image of the village will not get these tasks done. Focus and hard work will. So I go back to Mayor Woolbright and my promise to him 4 years ago, and my promise to Mayor Romano around the same time, in which I promised both that I would continue the positive strides they had made in their years as mayor and not allow the same people that tried ruining their reputations and that pushed them out of office to succeed in continuing to hurt our village. Would me resigning tonight resolve these issues and solve the problems the village is facing? No. In fact, resigning would exacerbate the problems and the harm, in my view, and would derail what we've worked so hard to achieve, not just in these 4 years, but during Christine Fitzpatrick's time, Larry Woolbright's time, John Romano's time, Jim Capasso's time, Burt Grandin's time, and Jim Capasso's father's time as mayor. Those folks may not have always agreed on the method to make the village better, but they all left an imprint on this village that never should have been undermined or insulted. Do this job for long enough and you'll understand what I mean by that. I think a good number of you actually believe the village of Ballston Spa is moving in the right direction, and often that leads to complacency. When that happens, a small group of people can hijack the process and focus of your government because they're so hell-bent on control and their agenda. And then they'll masquerade their efforts as, quote, representing the best interests of the village. My statement to all of you is this tonight, And please take this to heart and take action related to this. When you're satisfied about or happy with the direction your community is heading in, those are the times you need to be most active to ensure that direction continues. We need all of you who think things are going well to roll up your sleeves and either help us promote the special thing we've got going on in this community or become a part of it by coming to meetings, joining committees and boards, and generally letting us know in those tougher moments that you're proud to be a resident or a friend of our village of Ballston Spa. It shouldn't require a resignation to cause folks to come to action to protect what we've accomplished in this village together. And at the end of the day, when I considered stepping down over the last few weeks, I thought about those students chanting support for me. And I realized that with all the special people I've met and worked with and the wonderful relationships we've all built, we've created a wonderful team of people, young and old, that love their community and this village of friends. It's time to get back to work, and I can't wait to do it, starting now. Thank you, and I'll see you all soon.